Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Charles Farrell. I'm Vice President of Public Programs. Welcome to your museum, the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History. This program is being live streamed and broadcast to our global community, so we welcome the African diaspora. Every year, we will celebrate the Haitian Revolution. As you know, last year we launched the Year of Rebellion. And in order to understand rebellions, we really had to start with the Haitian Revolution. It began in that revolution, the first free black republic in the Western Hemisphere. I want to frame the beginning discussions before we move into libations to start the official program to read from best-selling author The Debt, Randall Robinson, Haiti, From Revolution to Kidnapping of a President and Unbroken Agony. The victory that the Haitian enslaved Africans won over France's largest ever naval task force commanded by General Charles de Clercq, the brother-in-law of Napoleon Bonaparte, is the most important event in the history of black Creole-speaking Haitians, and I would say in the black world. It is therefore not surprising that contemporary Haitians, black rural peasants, people from outside the cities, will retain more of Africa's rich cultural palette in their social practices than do virtually any other African-descended progeny living in the Americas. Africa can be heard in their music. It can be felt stirring in their religion, voodoo, which is African in its origins and really should be studied. Africa is spiritually recalled in Haitians' paintings in the form of wildlife representing not Haiti, but Guinea, to which black Haitians whose forebears were wrenched from their homeland by enslavers believed that in death they will one day return. Africa can be heard in the ordinary Haitian Creole social remark, which means you are a good African, or less literally, you are a good person. Haiti is the only country in the world outside of Africa where this expression is in common use. Unlike blacks in North America and the Caribbean generally, Haitians have proverbs, hundreds of them, if not thousands. Their ancient stored social wisdom of Africa, antedating the North Atlantic enslavement trade, survived virtually intact in Haiti. The ancient African proverb that the axe forgets, but not the tree. The same linear diasporic descendant is Haitian. Those who give the blows forget. Those who bear the scars remember. I just want to talk just briefly about the fact that it's the Haitians who understand that Christopher Columbus was a murderer, where he encountered the 28,000 Taínos. I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly, but by the time he left, there was 200, valuing gold over humans. It's the Haitians' revolution that we saw the emergence of the role of the black woman, which we'll be celebrating today. This is such an important event in our history, and we ask you to continue to read and study about the Haitian Revolution, to look at Wade Noble's book on Haiti, and to continue to focus on this anniversary throughout the year. I really appreciate you coming here today. Again, I want to give a brief opening statement prior to inviting to the stage my spiritual leader, a brother who took me to Africa, into the tombs of the dungeons, and showed me the way toward liberation. Professor James Small. Will introduce him more formally.
Peace and blessings. I'm going to, all African events should be open with a libation. And so I'm going to pour libation. Nothing mystical about libation. I mean, everybody say prayers to something or somebody. And in this case, you always start your libation by paying respects to the universe itself. Since in most of our culture, what we call God or the divine is the totality of creation itself, including you. And what we call the ancestors is not some dead people you put in the ground, but since they deposit themselves in your genes while they were living, you are they. So what you do when you pay respects to the ancestors, what you're paying respects to is the stimuli to recall in your memory that which was you living before. Hope that made some sense. Y'all got it? Okay. You can say Ashe when the water hits the plant. And we ask the divine to guide us today so that we can look and study this great initiative called the Haitian Revolution. This opened up African liberation across the world, and it's the best model of revolution anywhere in the world. And I think my beautiful sister, Ezelu, today will show you that, and I'll try to assist her as best I can. We ask all the ancestors who died in the process of getting to the Atlantic Ocean from all across Africa to bless our efforts. We ask those who lost their lives on the so-called Middle Passage to bless our efforts. We ask those who gave their life on this side, all the rebellions before, and then the Great Rebellion, that was the Haitian Revolution, and those that follow. We ask for their blessing and their guidance. We ask the common ancestors of all of us, from the John Henry Clark to the Dr. Ben to the Dessalines to you name it. We've lost so many energies, but we didn't lose them. We lost our memory of what the energy was. You are the ancestors. If you can figure that one out, you can solve the problem of freedom. If you can't figure that one out, you're going to remain a slave. See? And then you can call your favorite ancestor, the person out of whose womb you came. Remember, you're the best of your ancestors' genes. You're the latest version and the highest tech model. Your children is the best of your genes, the latest version, and the highest tech model. And in those genes was the totality of everything that come to produce you, including the millions of ancestors whose gene culminated in you. So call the name of whomever you wish: Susan Small, Andrew Small, Lucille Johnson. And then we asked Africa itself, the essence of that ecology, that environment, that earth, and the universe itself, to bless and guide our efforts today. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo.
Thank Brother James Small for the libations. We're going to watch a film. It's an hour and 10 minutes on Haiti, 1804. After the film, we will introduce our esteemed guests more formally. Please enjoy 1804, The Hidden History of Haiti, a documentary about the untold story of the Haitian Revolution that includes our two guests. Thank you.
There's nothing that happens after the Haitian Revolution and our fight for freedom across the Caribbean and North South America that wasn't influenced by the Haitian Revolution.
The African people on the island fought all the largest armies of the world at the time and won over each one of them.
Type of programming we offer our community here to Charles Wright and again our global community. Yes. Very, very important topic that's very relevant to today. And we have kind of historical markers to revisit to teach us that we can win against our oppressors. We have an hour of time we're going to consume very effectively with Professor James Small and Sister Elise Danto from Haiti. I'd like to spend a little bit of time. I could talk about my personal relationship with James, but just for the record, because this is a history museum, and we will put this particular program in our archives as well as this broadcast to a global community. For those who do not know, Professor James Small is a scholar, activist, dynamic speaker, and organizational consultant. He's also CEO of Sana Lodge Enterprise, Ghana Limited, CEO and President, African American Management Company, Ghana Limited, International Vice President of the Organization of African American Unity, priest of Oya, Babla Orisha, Ifa tradition, also past president of the Eastern Region of the Association for the Study of African American Civilization, Aztec. Professor James Small has been an activist since teenage years. His in-depth knowledge, thought-provoking, and calm delivery are influential elements to break the programming of miseducation. He studied extensively Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, Dr. Leonard Jeffries, Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, Dr. Asa Hilliard, Dr. Wade Nobles, Dr. Amos Wilson, and Dr. Francis Cress Wesley, just to name a few. For 11 years, Professor Small served as the principal bodyguard for the late Ella L. Collins, the sister of Malcolm X, and then president of the Organization of African American Unity. And he was the imam of Muslim Mosque Incorporated, founded by Malcolm X. Between the years of 1966 and 1980, Professor Small held membership in the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC, the NACP, the OOAU. During this period, Professor Small had the opportunity to interact with such historical giants as Congressman Adam Clayton Powell, Jr., Kwame Ture, known as Stokely Carmichael, H. Rap Brown, Jamil Al-Amin, as he's known today, of SNCC, Eldridge Cleaver, Said Shakur, and Lumumba Shakur of the Black Panther Party, in which he served as a liaison between the BPP and OAAU. Much of his expertise is found in African American history, culture, Malcolm X, African traditional religions, and a love for his people. I will stop there. This brother is a powerhouse and a frequent visitor here to the Charles H. Wright Museum, and you saw him speak in this film. I'd like you to join me in a very strong round of applause as we bring him to the stage as he imparts his wisdom around the Haitian Revolution. Thank you. I just want to mention while he's coming, this film outside, if you happen to leave, one of the reasons our program is free is so you have additional revenue in your pocket to continue to enrich yourself through this film. $30. Do not leave without it. And Sister Danto has a table as well. Let's honor them by purchasing their materials, their merchandise tables on departure. Thank you.
Oh, there's somebody at the microphone. Is that you?
That's Kuwait, yeah.
Peace and blessing, brother. How you doing? Hotel. I'm not going to take a lot of time. I come to Detroit a lot. I come and hang out with the Detroit community and the NBUF community and run around the streets for ALD. And I had a lot of good times in this city, coming here with Dr. Hilliard and Dr. Jeffries back in the day to set up the African Centered curricula. So Detroit has kind of like been my second home over these decades. But there's a young lady here today, and I'm going to bring Charles back up in a few minutes to introduce her and let her use up most of this hour. The one thing I want to say, talking to another one of our comrades you saw in the film, Sister Baina Bello, and I said, Baina, what do I say when I get to Detroit this week? And one of the things she wanted me to make very clear, we changed the paradigm. That's what voodoo is about. Voodoo is not a religion. It is a world view. It is an African worldview. And the Haitian people perfected an African worldview out of the collages of African culture and sacred sciences that made up the population in Haiti. And so they describe what the reality was for them, not the enemy. And it was out of that new reality, it was out of this new worldview that they were able to declare who were friends and who were enemies of the people of Haiti. And then they set out to destroy them. And we know that Dessalines gets such a bad rap. They said he killed a bunch of people, coupé tête, brûlé caille, cut their heads off, burned their homes. But no one cried when you had a Nuremberg trial. They didn't cry for the Nazis that died in Nuremberg. So why are we going to cry for the Nazis that died in Haiti? America and Britain killed over 2 million German civilians with bombs under the guise we're trying to kill Hitler. And we call this a heroic war. The people of Haiti ended a genocide like nothing in this hemisphere, and nothing since then. And they executed the perpetrators who refused to leave their land after he offered them the opportunity to go free, despite what they had done. It was not a massacre. It was an execution of criminals that didn't have the sense to escape and offer the opportunity. So for me, we at war. You remember Sister Soldier said it, and Clinton and everybody rose up and they crushed our little baby Soldier. Hey, Soldier, you said it. It is now. We are still at war. You right here in Detroit, you are at war. You're 85% of the city or something, and you don't run 2% of it. You can't even determine who your mayor is going to be anymore, and you're the majority of the voting class. You need to study the Haitian Revolution and figure out how to do this thing. Right. That's the blueprint on how to organize yourself, how to organize your mind, how to organize your community, and how to implement that new worldview that explains to you what is in your best interest and not what is in the best interest of your enemy. So that's my statement, because I think Sister Dante has something special to say to you. Besides being cold, we were under truly. I just got back from Ghana and Egypt. You know what it feels like to sit in this cold room? Right? Oh, goodness. And I live in New York, right? But when you've been out of the country for a while in the heat, it's hard to get into cold. You ready, sister? Come on, Brother Charles. Thank you, brothers and sisters.
Dedicated to correcting media lies about Haiti, Esley Danto is a writer, performance poet, human rights lawyer. Women's rights issues is her focus. That's a short version. A human rights attorney, playwright, poet, master Haitian dance teacher. Esley's one-woman jazzatry, Boudoon theatrical piece, Red, Black, and Moonlight, has been performed at Carnegie Hall, the United Nations, international venues. Her newest piece, Seismic Shift, explores the aftermath of the 2010 earthquake in Haiti. Her play, Bawa Kayaman, if I'm not pronouncing it correctly, she'll correct me upon her presentation, celebrates the warrior of the Haitian independence. She's won a Connecticut Playwright Fellowship from the Connecticut Commission on the Arts, a Vermont Studio Center Writing Fellowship and Scholarship, a Stanford Arts Partnership Grant, in addition to other awards, residencies, and fellowships. She has been a partner artist with the Bushnell Performance Arts Center, Connecticut's largest performance arts center, and is an Urban Artist Fellow with the Connecticut Commission on the Arts and the Institute for Community Research. She is founder and president of the Haitian Lawyers Leadership Network. It was Professor Brother Ray Winbush who introduced us to this sister as a necessary component as we talked about Haiti. And of course, you saw her in the film in her red and black. Can you invite her with a strong round of applause to our stage for a powerful presentation?
Honneur, honor, honor and respect. That is the greetings of the ancient Haitians. So now that Haïtien ça, montrez-vous, now that the Haitian has showed you, when I say it, honneur, honneur.
Respect.
Could you put on the music for me? Or can I do it from here?
Majani chache kote lo akulo akwal rentre. Gono akwal rentre. Majani chache kote lo akulo akwal rentre. Jean wem jete kere sou akwal rentre. Jean wem trese bebe sou akwal rentre. Majani chache kote lo akulo akwal rentre.
Our culture has everything in it. New Orleans jazz, rock and roll, Catherine Dunham method, the best painters, all the genre of painting. But all you hear about Haiti is porous in the Western Hemisphere. I want to thank Brother Charles for bringing me here. I love Professor Smalls. I'm very humbled to be on the same stage as someone I studied, someone who's the living library of our struggle. So we need this space where I can meet you. So you need to become Haitian warriors. You need to remember who you are. And what I'm going to try to do very quickly today is give you some sets of skills that were left to us by the ancestors. I'm a human rights lawyer. I'm a performance poet. And I run something called Zili de l'eau, which is clean water, skills transfer, and renewable power in Haiti. Of course, I'm a master Haitian dancer. But these days, I spend a lot of my time trying to end the occupation of Haiti, which became very direct in 2004. And the European, when they came in 2004, you remember that soldier, the General Rochambeau? Guess what the French call the troops that came in 2004 to Haiti? Okay, very quickly, this is one of my pieces. I'm going to get, did you press it for me? No. Yeah. Can you press that? The music. Didn't go? Maybe you need to bring up the volume. Oh well. Maybe he'll get it.
Conscious, amputated from their master's lips. Unfettered, I spill out into throbbing masses of loss, stretching to explore an ache with no arms. That's Haiti. It's like trying to move the hurricane out of the rain. IET. It's Coltrane and Davis, part, whole, Overbrook. Unity and order, chaos and disorder, jamming together. It's fragmentations in manufactured conflicts, concealing unity, whole notes and half notes. The canvas forgotten. It's Africa, where life originated. It's running water, still brooks and crumbling hills. It's the greatest waterfall. It thrashes, thrusts, it's rage denied. It's sweltering, sweating, glistering, wet and black. As primordial space, it's Africans in the countryside, feeding on natural resources. Africans in the cities, selling bodies to eat. Domestics, smiling, 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 smiling. Submerged. Market women, overloaded. Dry bushes, overgrown weeds, sloshing mangroves, floating to nowhere. It's
Shanty town.
shanty towns
And million-dollar houses.
cocoon
behind lead gates, rifle heats, and tropical flowers, and toxic plants, and long hours, and working people without unions. It's reste avec, hungry children, unattended, abused and exploited, forced in an alpha state of mind early on to survive. It's reactive. So much like here, it's roads, where eternity has not been seen. For the longest time, it's life. Haiti is life clad forever in the flesh and blood of chaos. Chaos that's the fabric of eternity, the womb of creation. It's madness. It's madness bordered by bliss. People walking up, down, crossing divides like me, borders like you. There's no traffic light to keep rhythm, no pavement for keeping off the dust of violence off your face. Only 10 million feet. Or is it the entire African diaspora beating at the earth's drum, eroding wombs well, in a desperate toss at rebirth, looking for the new heaven and the new earth, the first heaven disappeared. The drum beats
find a new
over 10 million resonate in the heat. That's Haiti. It returns as it goes forward, coalescing all Africans, all lives, rinse in endless, aching pain. It's collective memory and the frustrations of generations of minds, generations of Africa's soul, piling in the vortex, crying tears, tears tearing the ozone, tears urging recall of things, of the forgotten spaces, making possible the symphony of the messengers, those torn pieces of the mountain debris, come to tell of the way,
of the
not
forgotten spaces,
of the
making possible
impossible
the symphony
dream.
of the messengers.
Apogee
Those
song
torn
is the
pieces
echo,
of the
is the
mountain debris
echo
come to
you
tell
hear
of the
in the
way,
Haitian valleys,
not
here,
of the impossible
there,
dream.
between our
Apogee
thighs,
song is the
destined
echo you hear
to
in the
rise.
valleys, here, there, between our thighs, destined.
Okay, let's get started very quickly. The template for fighting. I hope to provide you with something very quickly with regards to what are the templates that we elect to fight. Oh, I'm so sorry. The template to fight and win under white supremacy. And I know that the brothers streaming this, so please, people, it took bloods, lots of people died for me to be standing here in front of you. So many Haitians drowned, so many. So I am here on the blood of the fallen. And what I would like you to do for me is I'm going to go quickly through some of this stuff, but you are going to learn the disciplines on how to fight back. So you need to take the live stream, share it with your friends, and study it. Here we go. So I've been at this for so long. This is a picture of me when I was dancing years ago. I run the Esli Network. We have a very big presence in the social media. And I run the Haitian Lawyers Leadership and the Free Haiti Movement. My detractors, the black collaborators, have so forgotten how long I've been here that they use this picture on their website to show Haitian culture. They've forgotten that it's me. So, this is Red, Black, and Moonlight. I have most of it is on the internet. So, this I wrote in 1994, 1995. That's 24 years ago. And so, it's really interesting that I just did those pieces as if it was today. And so that's what we live. And this is what we have to change. And we have Esli Designs. The way I keep doing this is using my designs to economically help me continue to do the work. So please go up there and join the Esli Network. Come to help us free Haiti and free ourselves. I'm here today to talk to Detroit about how to keep this space open, how to take back your space, what you were being given. All right. I'm going to start with the solutions first, okay? You can go back. Like I said, this is going to be on tape. So I wanted to get going first. Solutions. Create, don't consume. I don't have to really explain that. Self-reliance, no fear, right? I have a t-shirt over there. It says, Standing on Truth, Living Without Fear. My father was a Maroon. He didn't do the plantation. And the one thing I learned about, and the way you say it's Vodun. Vodun. No voodoo. That's the Hollywood. Sound is very important, people. Sound is very important. Lifting up sacred energies. That's what Vodun does. There's a lot of energies in this world. Lifting up sacred energies. You tell them Esli Dantor told you that. VODUN is how we spell it at the Haitian Lawyers Leadership Network. No fear. There are energies in this world that smells your fear and feed off of it. That's why they keep showing you those videos of white policemen shooting people in the head. They feed off of that energy. Now, heal thyself and stop hurting your own family. We have to look outwards together as opposed to looking at each other. Look outwards together. Your attention is currency. What does that mean? This is what the media is looking for. Your attention. They tell you that money is currency. Okay? Your attention is currency. We're going to show you all this through the Haitian Revolution, but I wanted to get this out first. Spirit is life, but spirit is not what the Christian Abrahamic religion tells you it is. It is not. It's very fragile. You have to protect spirit. You came into this world for one thing. You've got to find what that one thing is. Because there are others that came to help you with that one thing. Listen to the voice of liberty that sings within all your hearts. That was Bookman's prayer, remember? So spirit is fragile in this dimension. And the other dimension, it's all powerful. But you bring spirit here, and you must protect it. You have the right to self-defense, period, right? And what you do in this realm, this is different from what the Abrahamic religion tells you. They tell you, as above, so below. You're going to tell someone one day that Esli Dantor told you this. It's as below, so above. Did you hear? How you live today is going to determine tomorrow. What you bring today is going to determine what gets rebirthed tomorrow. Do you understand? So I'm going to go quick, okay, but really very, very important point, right? Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. Because of how they lived, we all remember. That's Haitian resurrection. You're not going to be resurrected by the flesh. Haitian resurrection, Vodun resurrection is what you give member to. What you remember. Yes? That's why we remember the ancestors. That's what Vodun is. You remember the ancestors. And if you live up to your metet, that means you have come into this world to do something. If you live up to that, you will be resurrected by your descendants. The European is a migrated power that's on automatic pilot right now. That plantation mindset, it inhabits these white boys. They don't even know. It's there. So remember that. Control your consciousness. What you look at, whatever you're feeding it. Television, education, whatever you're feeding it. And most important, what is looking at you changes you. This is the type of energy of the universe. Right? Somebody says to me, Esli, you've been out here for so long, I didn't know about you. I said, well, that's on purpose. Certain people are not ready to know about me. Because what they bring touches you. Be careful. Be careful who knows it. You don't have to go tell everybody what you're doing, where you're at. If you want to see God, I always use the extra O because the European has domesticated it. If you want to see God, then you've got to be God. Guinée Franc. In Vodun, the ultimate status is Guinée-Franc. Haitian cosmology says 1 and 1 is 3. Past, present, and future. The original Trinity was Le Marassa, Le Mort, et La Mystère. Out of primordial space came 2. They had children. They had descendants. That's the universe. 1 and 1 is 3. Guinée-Franc is not this Clinton, plausible deniability, bipolar schizophrenia of the European. They don't know what they are. They could stand in front of you and tell you about the duopoly, the left-right duopoly. One plays a hero, the other one plays a villain, and they change places every 4 years in the White House and nothing changes. Okay? Wake up. Guinée-Franc, but you are different. Your ancestors said, in order to be powerful, in order to touch source, you have to have all 3, action, thought, and your emotion as one. All right. And how? Those are the solutions. Oops, I'm going backwards. Oops, sorry. Why isn't it? Oops. All right, the Haitian Revolution. We are in the month of the Haitian Revolution, right? August 14th, Bois-Caïma. And the revolution started, as you saw, we saying, on August 22nd. The Free Haiti movement that I run, when I realized these Europeans were coming back, I put together the Ezeli Network, and we've been standing against that tide since then. So, you learn in this movie that it was after over 1,000 years of Arab Muslim enslavement in the north of Africa, and after 300 years of Christian slavery in the Americas. Haiti was the first place where Columbus started his slavery in the West, and it's the first place to break its chains. First and only place in world history. First and only revolution that actually was a revolution and not a change of elites. The enslaved replaced the so-called master. Only place in world history. And what you have to understand about Haiti is this. We are original to planet Earth. So there were Africans, not aboriginal, but original. So there were Africans here in the Americas before Columbus. And we've already looked up all, we talked about the Carol Call and so forth, okay? I was going to play the Bookman's Prayer, but go ahead, play for a minute. Are you watching me?
The God who created the earth, who created the sun that gives us light, the God who holds up the ocean, who makes the thunder roar, our God who has ears to hear, you who are hidden in the clouds, who watch us from where you are. You see all that the white has made us suffer. The white man's God asked him to commit crimes, but the God within us wants to do good. Our God who is so good, so just, he orders us to avenge our wrongs. It's he who will direct our arms and bring us the victory. It's he who will assist us. Throw away the image of the white man's God who is so pitiless, and listen to the voice of liberty that sings in all our hearts.
Throw away the image of the white man's God that's so pitiless, and listen to the voice of liberty within all your hearts. Yes?
Yes. I say.
We do Bois-Caïma, Haitians. This was in Prospect Park. I gotta figure out how to use this. Okay, so
Okay, it's up there.
oh, okay. All right, so we already did that. Where do I point this? All right, the kingdom of heaven is within, and whosoever shall know himself, shall find the kingdom of God. Do you understand that? All right. And that was really the beginning. What?
Yeah.
All right. Lessons of the Haitian Revolution. We did Bookman's Prayer. Also, the most important thing, remember that women have traditionally been the divine mothers and goddesses of indigenous society in prehistoric time, before the time of the discoverers. And so, at Bois-Caïman, Bookman, Biassou, Jeannot, all the males that were there at Bois-Caïman, all the people that had been fighting the Muslims in North America, all the people that were the Dahomians like Tantoya, they went back to Mother Africa. Haiti's the first place in modern history where a woman can have equal status as a priestess, as a man. As a matter of fact, much more revered. It was a Haitian woman named Cécile Fatima that chose, just like Aset, Horus, chose who will be the leader amongst their warriors. And she chose, when she was quickened, Cécile Fatima is the historical Esli Dantor. You know, Esli Dantor, these are lois. What are lois? They're irreducible essences. Remember what I said about how what you do here determines what gets rebirthed, right? So a loi in Haitian epistemology means the irreducible essence of a particular principle or character. The irreducible essence of the female principle. Justice, what they call ma'at. In Haitian cosmology, Haitian epistemology is called Ezili Dantor. When, after 300 years of enslavement, they called on Mama Ezili, and she mounted the priestess, Cécile Fatima. And Cécile Fatima said, "This is your time. We will strengthen your arms." And so you have to go inside, remember? Find those irreducible essences of who you are. Because we are original to the planet. We go back millions, untold years. That's what's in your DNA. Do not listen to the ape story. Burn the port cities and go inside. When in 1802, after almost 13 years of fighting these brutal enslavers, and they had just finished getting rid of 50,000 British, right? Exhausted. And here they go. Leclerc comes, which is Napoleon's brother-in-law, with the order to re-enslave the Haitians. So on that hilltop where you saw the citadel, on that hilltop, Dessalines said, they looked at that, and this is really important to remember. Haitians said, if at that time they had built houses, beautiful houses, now imagine not having anything, was a slave, and you have built these houses, and you've been free for a couple of years, because you've been fighting since 1791, it's now 1803, 1802, 1803. Dessalines said, look at this. They thought so hard that they were going to psych out the Haitians, that his army Napoleon sent 50,000 troops. 20,000 he left in Louisiana Territory because he was going to take over America after he finished with Haiti. They were so confident that his sister, who was married to General Leclerc, brought all her beautiful dresses because they're going to party down. And then they met the greatest hero who ever lived, Jean-Jacques. What's his name?
Jean-Jacques Dessalines.
And he said in his 1805 Constitution, this is for my black males, what is a man? Look it up. 1805 Constitution. The greatest hero who ever lived said, a good man is someone who's a good son, a good father, a good husband, and above all, somebody is a Haitian here. Above all, what?
A real warrior.
There you go. A good soldier.
Yep.
Are you guys soldiers?
Yes.
Are you ready to die for liberty?
Yes.
Do you understand? They're looking down. They're seeing sea, cannons, ships. Napoleon just finished in Egypt. He was all that in a baggage ship to himself and his other cohorts. Dessalines said to Christophe, burn your palace first down. And the song that they sung, Grenadier à l'assaut, ça qui mourit. Where's my Haitian? Do you know the song? Grenadier à l'assaut, ça qui mourit, ça fait yo. Non point maman, non point papa, ça qui mourit, ça fait yo. Soldiers attack. There's no mothers here. There's no fathers here. Just soldiers. Do you understand? Do you get the message? Because Dessalines told all his children, if you get captured, don't expect me to ransom you out. Okay? So whoever dies, we'll avenge them. Those who are left behind. Okay? So, let me go very quickly. The unity in Haiti that's never wavered is you never hear a Haitian say, I'm from the Fon space, I'm from the Akan, no. That was the one unity that has never wavered. They're all Haitian. But they came from all the way down from Angola to the Congo and so forth. The three ideals of Dessalines, very quickly, the three ideals of Dessalines are, all Haitians shall be known by the appellation black. Look it up in his constitution, right? And he even gave, because at that time he was taught by a warrior woman who understood that black is original to planet Earth and that the Olmecs, the Washitas, all these folks. So he said, every Haitian shall be, and even included the Polish and the Germans and those few hundred whites who actually fought with the warriors. They were given Haitian citizenship. Second, what's in a name? What's in a name? Dessalines' name horrifies enslavers and bigots and everywhere. That's why just recently in New York, when they named a street after him, Tucker, whatever his name is, went out and said, they just gave this honor to someone who committed racial murder. So they're always saying these things because his name terrifies them. What does your name do? Think about that. Or do you have a European name on you? Okay, it's like time for me to leave here. Dessalines' law, no white man shall set foot on this place as proprietor or master. Hello? I want you to think about where you are now. Are you giving up this institution? Do you remember Dessalines' law? Should you have your own space? Well, you got to fight for it. And stand. This is my space. Somebody died for this. Are you letting it go? The Haitian warriors said no to bourgeois democracy. That's what they said. Let me just tell you very quickly what that means. The European is bipolar. In the same space as slavery, rape, genocide, brutality. He has unlimited wealth, unlimited beauty, unlimited resource, and it lives in the same space. Haitians said no. That's the most important thing to always remember. We said no. We can't live like this. Our soul connects with everything as one. So if I'm in the Trump Towers and I go downstairs and there's this bag man in a bag sitting on a, homeless, but then there's all this glory. Haitians could not turn their face. They said no to that. Remember that. All real warriors shall be known. We already did that. Okay, my last thing is, maybe I will come back and we'll talk about more. But my last thing is, there's a lot of Haitian Vodou history about things that live in the water. We are not alone on this planet. I could do a whole hour on that. But I'm going to cede this time now. We can do more later. Thank you very much for having me.
How many would you like to have her come back? This is their home and this is our home, and we thank you for coming out tonight. We're going to move now quickly to 5 minutes of questioning. 5 minutes, so we'll turn off the questioning at 9 o'clock. More important, as I stated at the beginning, I would love for each of you to take home a part of this history in terms of supporting Professor Small and Sister Danto's tables outside at the end of this program. That's more important than anything. I just want to take away the time and say questions, please. Make certain that the questions are concise and speak directly into the microphone.
Don't be shy.
I'll go ahead, brother. Go with the elder first.
Brother Abdul.
All right, thank you.
Abdul.
Yes, sir.
Hotep.
Hotep. Brother Abdul. You lost the cord, Brother Abdul. You must be an ASCAC member. Y'all be tearing up the equipment and stuff.
He said go over here. All right.
Come on, Michael.
All right, well, I'm going to give the elder the mic first. Yeah.
Hotep, thank you all for coming out tonight. I love the prayer of Bookman where he says, throw away the image of the white man's God who so often brought us to tears, and listen to liberty that speaks in all our heart. The favorite closing of one of my teachers and beloved elders or ancestors, Baba Jacob Carruthers. When we prayed to African gods, we won. I don't know if we won since we prayed to African gods. Can you speak to that, Brother Small?
Me? Yes, Abdul. I know you're going to go wax philosophical and do something really rough. Well, there aren't any darn gods. We ought to stop playing.
Right.
If there were gods, why would you be in this miserable situation you're in? Or at least your concept of God is
Right.
all askewed,
Right, right.
and your worship methodology don't work. And what they did in Haiti, they changed that stuff. Listen, we're worshiping this God, and we're being raped every day, murdered every day, beaten every day, worked to death every day. Mm-hmm. We're going to church, we're doing this thing, we're doing, hey, all the stuff they were doing, Assalamu alaikum. And here we are in this mess.
Right.
So they said we're going to change reality.
Right, right.
And what they did was went back to being what they were before we met these people.
Right.
Okay? And what were we? We were the totality of creation itself, and we understood our relationship and role in that totality of the creation.
Right.
And when I say that, I mean cosmology, ecology, and the whole thing. So what we call African gods, Sister just explained very well when she was talking about these great principles in nature and in the universe that governs everything that happens to us. It is these principles, when understood and appealed to, when practiced, that becomes the forces in nature that you can rely upon when you become familiar with them and create methodologies to communicate with them. Until you're ready to do that, just keep being slaves. It feels good.
Right.
Looks good every Sunday. You dress up so nice. On Friday, you go to the mosque and in your white, and you come out, and the same stuff is going on from Monday to Friday the next week, as it is done year after year after year after year. So stop playing with yourself out of fear.
Right.
Secret to life is to have no fear, Malcolm told us. And if you don't see your God in your mirror in the morning, you have lost your way.
Right.
That's the African way.
Ashe. Very quickly, Professor Small and Sister Danto, thanks for coming to Michael M. Hotep, host of the African History Network
Sat
show.
down uncomfortable.
In August, they talked about the August rebellions. August 21st, 1831, we had the Nat Turner Rebellion, Southampton County as well. Talk about the relationship of Nat Turner's mother, who came from Haiti, as well. And then also talk about the impact that the Haitians beating the hell out the French, how that led to the Louisiana Purchase of 1803.
You want another whole lecture, Mike.
No, I mean, just briefly. Just briefly. All right, thank you.
Start with the first part first. You gave me 3 parts of the question there.
Huh? No.
What was the first thing?
Oh, Nat Turner. Okay, the Nat Turner Rebellion, August 21st, 1831. Nat Turner's mother was from Haiti.
Yes.
Okay, just talk about that relationship.
Right. When we hear the story of Nat Turner, they always tell us it's the Bible that created Nat Turner. You know that, right?
Right.
Even when they made the movie, they were trying to
Right.
convince you because he was a preacher.
Right.
Well, everybody else was reading the Bible and they were doing the same thing.
Right.
So why not look at the womb out of which you came, the consciousness and intellect that owned that womb, that reared you and fed you, as being the reason you evolved into who you were.
Right.
His mother,
Right.
who was the product of the Haitian Revolution.
Right.
And you know, when Turner was arrested, when he was being tried, they said, you must have a leader. It can't be you.
Right.
What did he say?
He said his leader was Jean-Jacques Dessalines.
Right. So the judge sent the sheriff and all the marshals to go find him and arrest that Negro.
Right. Right.
And then they came back and said, but he's dead. He was the emperor of Haiti.
Right.
So they asked him again, why would you say this dead man is your leader? Who is your leader? And what did he say?
Jean-Jacques Dessalines.
The question answered.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, you know, the greatest hero who ever lived. I said that I was going to say 3 of his principles, and the third one is that he said that he wanted a black-ruled, independent nation. That we have 2 thoughts always run, Rada and Peto, their spirits, their energies that runs in Haitian Vodun. And Rada is very accommodating. Peto is not accommodating. The spirit of Jean-Jacques Dessalines wanted for black folks to be independent and not to be a colony, whereas the spirit of Toussaint Louverture was that it's what rules the world now. That's why they don't mind naming streets after Toussaint Louverture. They hate Jean-Jacques Dessalines. All 53 nations, practically, of the African Union are pushing the paradigm of Toussaint Louverture, which is black rule colony with a black face, right? That's what Toussaint wanted. He wanted to rule Haiti on behalf of Napoleon. Neocolonialism. And so there are 15 Caribbean nations, and Haiti lives in that space of having no European father. So they love to make disaster stories about Haiti. So you never learn about the iridium that's in Haiti. the asteroid that fell and how we have mountains of this resource, which, you know, when you saw Black Panther, it's the unobtainium. It's in Haiti. And so now you have the answer as to why the United States built its fourth largest embassy in the world. Fourth. In the world. And the biggest embassy in the Western Hemisphere. In Haiti while you all asleep.
There was one more? Okay. This is the last question, of course.
Okay. So, first I would like to say much love and gratitude for your sacrifice over the years, just to make it short because we're running out of time and stuff. But as far as it pertains to Haiti itself, do you think just skipping over just everything that we've been fed over the years and just go straight back to the history, do you think that will better serve, do you think we'll be able to network more on a global level as Africans and not be deterred from the way that Haiti has been shown in the media, you know, as far as it pertains to their spirituality and the poverty that goes on down there. So like if we just skip over all that and just go right to history and see how they've inspired Pan-Africanism and to show Africans worldwide how it's done. Do you think that's a start as far as us uniting on a global level? Because oftentimes our differences do set us aside as far as religion and ideologies and things like that.
Question, we got about 1 minute for her to answer.
Yeah, so that's basically the question. So do you guys think that just going back to the history and just learning about how they were the first Black Republic?
Well, history matters. I think it was Garvey that said, you know, if you don't have history, you have no roots. You know, you're like a branch with no roots. So history does matter. But yes, it's just knowing history alone is not going to change things, right? You have to have some actions. I have some merchandises over there, and it represents the action and the energy of Ogu and Danto, right? And one of my pieces say, standing on truth, living without fear, right? So everything you do, the color you wear, your tone, what you let into yourself. So each one of you have to, especially the body, remember the one important thing, the reason Haiti did its revolution was because it said to the European, you can't rape me all day long. You can't use my body just for labor. It's sacred. It's a temple for energy to come through. Remember that the next time you want to put some sugar into it or whatever else. So that's really, really important, your environment and so forth. So all I'm going to say to you is that it's such a complicated question because the nation state is not for us. It's just a hollow bowl where the elite have, for the last 1,000 years, corporatized our labor. And all those politicians are working for the elites. And we think there's democracy or whatever it is. So yeah, we have to actually think, what is the world we want? Dessalines has a template. The Haitian people have a template. The Haitians of present today? No. Wycliffe Jean didn't know what the hell he was just talking about. He said, Haitians are corrupt because we make less than $1 a day. He said he was not elected as president because he was an artist. Well, is there a Haitian here? Who became a president? What is he? Thank you very much. Okay, don't listen to that Negro. A collaborator. Now, so you have to understand the truth, right? I'm not going to sit here, but I really, really appreciate being here in this movie because it allowed me to be in front of you. Okay?
Thank you, sir. Let me add one thing to your question. When we talk about history and we talk about what we got to do next, we have the tendency to ignore our actual purpose. Your purpose is to replicate yourself, and that replication should be an imitation of your highest notion of what is divine. That's what you're supposed to be doing. And to do that at the most basic level, you've got to be able to provide food, clothing, shelter, safety, and security for yourself and that family. To do that, you must control economic, politics, and culture. To do that, you must know who you are. Thank you.
Just before we go, I just want to say one thing, really important. I do the non-colonial narrative on Haiti, so I talk about the untruths that it's in the media. So I have to say this. I'm so sorry. When Wycliffe said that Haitians live on less than $1 a day, I want you all to remember that is untrue. If Haitians had to live on the European dollar, 13 million people in Haiti would be dead. If you have your land and you're not paying anybody any sort, and you're eating off the land, that's how we live.
And that's not poverty. We need to also change the notion, our sense of what is poverty. And as we were told, what the Haitians did on that island that night was redefine reality. They redefined reality, created a new worldview, and then acted out of that worldview in their self-interest. Thank you all very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out. And again, can you please meet Professor Small and Sister Danto at their tables out front. Please purchase their items out of appreciation, and thank you for coming. We continue to support the Charles Wright Museum through your membership and your participation. Thank you again. Item number 1 from this, so we can drum up some business.